Hey everyone, ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
Today, we're looking at this system called KEDRec-LM.
Yeah.
It's using AI to, help discover new drugs, but not just that.
Right.
It can actually explain why a specific drug is a good fit, which is like pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah.
We're going straight to the source for this one.
Oh, cool.
The research paper itself.
Awesome.
So no hype, just the facts.
I like it. Straight from the scientists.
Exactly. So to kick things off, what exactly is KEDRec-LM?
Well, it's a large language model, LLM,
Okay.
but it's built for drug discovery.
So not like those chatbots everyone's talking about.
Nope, this one's way more specialized.
Got it. So how does this super smart system, how does it actually work?
Well, imagine like a massive database. It's called the Drug Repurposing Knowledge Graph.
DRKG.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful.
It is, but think of it like a giant web connecting everything. Drugs, diseases, genes, everything is linked.
Okay, so it's got this massive amount of information. What does it do with it?
So KEDRec-LM, it picks a disease,
Okay.
and then it selects 2 drug candidates.
Okay, so like one that we know works and
Yeah, exactly.
one that maybe doesn't.
One that might seem similar but isn't actually helpful for that disease.
So it's like setting up a little competition.
Yeah, exactly.
What happens next? Does it just compare those 2 drugs?
Not yet. It needs to do a little research first.
Okay.
It digs into this clinical trials data, and then it goes into research articles from PubMed Central.
Wow, so it's like a super-powered research assistant?
Exactly, yeah. Imagine like instantly reading and analyzing tons of scientific papers and clinical trial results.
That would take me years.
Exactly. But this system does it super fast.
Okay, so it's gathered all this info. What does it do with it all?
This is where it gets really cool. All that data,
Yeah.
disease info, the drug candidates, clinical trial results, research articles, all of it goes into the LLM.
Okay, like feeding a student a ton of information?
Yeah, exactly. Like all the textbooks and latest research all at once.
So what keeps the LLM on track?
Yeah.
How does it know what's important?
That's where the teacher model comes in.
Okay.
It's like a guide.
Mm-hmm.
It helps the LLM do 2 main things.
Okay.
First, it helps it pick the most promising drug out of those 2 candidates.
Okay.
And second, it helps it explain why it made that choice, like the reasoning behind its decision.
So it's not just giving an answer. It's giving an answer and saying, here's why I think this is right.
Precisely. Explainability. That's a big deal.
I could see that, especially in healthcare.
Right. A lot of AI systems are like black boxes. You know they work, but who knows how they got there?
So having this transparency with KEDRec-LM, that could be a game changer.
Absolutely, yeah. Doctors, researchers, they could understand the AI's reasoning, build trust, and make better decisions.
So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sold on the concept, but does it actually work? Like how good is KEDRec-LM in practice?
Well, the research paper, they did a bunch of tests, and the results are pretty amazing. They used this data set called XPR-XREC to see how well it could pick the right drug.
So what were the scores like?
Well, KEDRec-LM, it could be an F1 score of 88.05%.
88 point. Okay.
Yeah.
So that means it's getting it right almost 9 out of 10 times.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
What about other AI systems? How do they compare?
That's what's really interesting. Other models like GNN and SafeDrug, they scored lower, even with the same information.
So KEDRec-LM's approach, the knowledge graph, the research, the teacher model, it's all working together to give it an edge.
Definitely seems like it.
Okay, so it picks the right drug. But what about the explanations? Are those any good?
They used a method called ROJ to check the quality of the explanations.
Okay.
And KEDRec-LM got top marks there, too.
So it's accurate and it can explain itself clearly. It sounds like this could be a big deal for drug discovery.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm really curious about how this all plays out in the real world.
Yeah, me too.
What are the actual benefits we could see?
That's what we're going to dig into next.
Okay, so we've seen how this KEDRec-LM works.
Yeah.
And it's doing some pretty amazing stuff. But like, how does this actually translate to, real world stuff?
Yeah.
What are the benefits we could actually see?
Well, I think one of the big ones is faster drug discovery. Like imagine getting treatments to people, much quicker, especially for those diseases where time is really important.
Right. Yeah. Speeding up that process could be huge for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you mentioned before that KEDRec-LM could even help with personalized medicine. Like, how would that work?
So picture this, right? You go to the doctor, and they can actually use this KEDRec-LM to analyze your specific genes, your medical history, even, lifestyle stuff.
Wow.
And then the system can actually recommend the best drug for you, like taking all of that into account.
That's wild. It's like a treatment plan just for you.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Tailored just for you.
But I do have to ask, with any new technology, there's always got to be some limitations.
Of course, yeah.
So are there any challenges or maybe downsides to KEDRec-LM that we should, keep in mind?
Yeah, for sure. One thing is that, KEDRec-LM, it really relies on data. It's pulling information from these massive databases like DRKG, clinical trials, research articles, tons of data.
Right. And those sources, even though they're huge, aren't always perfect, are they?
Right,
It's like
exactly.
there could be some missing info or even contradictions.
Exactly. So it's important to remember that, KEDRec-LM, just like any AI system, it's only as good as the data it gets.
Right. So garbage in, garbage out, right?
Exactly, yeah.
What about those explanations that KEDRec-LM gives?
Yeah.
Are there any challenges in making those, understandable for us non-AI folks?
Yeah, that's a great point. So even though KEDRec-LM is built for explainability, those explanations, they can still be pretty, complex and use a lot of scientific jargon.
Yeah, so it's like we need a translator to go from AI speak to something that doctors and, researchers can easily understand.
Right, exactly. And that's something that researchers are, actively working on, trying to find that balance. Like making those explanations detailed enough, but also, clear and concise so that humans can get it.
So it's not just about building the tech, it's also about making it usable.
Absolutely.
Sounds like a tough challenge.
It is.
Are there any other areas where KEDRec-LM could be helpful besides just, finding new drugs?
Oh, yeah, tons. Like, think about understanding, those really complex biological processes. KEDRec-LM could analyze tons of data and find patterns that we humans might miss.
So it's like having this super-powered research assistant that can go through mountains of data and be like, hey, look at this.
Exactly, yeah. It could help us find new drug targets or even, predict side effects of medications, maybe even personalize drug dosages based on, person-specific traits. It's pretty wide open.
Wow. It sounds like KEDRec-LM could really change the way we approach, all of healthcare.
Yeah, it really could.
But I think it's also important to, take a step back and think about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
What are the implications of having AI play such a big role in medicine?
That's a really important question.
Yeah.
As AI becomes more and more a part of healthcare, I think we need to be really careful and thoughtful about how we use it, Make sure it's always used ethically and responsibly.
Right, yeah. Technology is a tool, right?
Right.
And it's up to us to use it wisely. We'll definitely dive more into, those ethical considerations in the next part of our deep dive. But I think, for now, we've done a pretty good job of understanding how this KEDRec-LM works and what it could do.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen how it could speed up drug discovery, personalize those treatments, even help us understand, the human body better. It's really exciting stuff.
Welcome back, everyone.
Yeah, welcome back.
So we've talked a lot about KEDRec-LM so far.
We have.
From how it works to all its potential and, changing drug discovery and even personalized medicine.
It really is amazing stuff.
But I want to look ahead now.
Yeah.
What's next for this tech? Where we go from here?
Well, one thing that's, really exciting is seeing how KEDRec-LM could be used with other AI systems. Imagine combining it with, say, image recognition.
Oh, wow.
To analyze medical scans, right? Or using natural language processing to look at electronic health records.
So it's not just about KEDRec-LM doing its own thing. It's about connecting it with all these other AI tools in healthcare.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that kind of teamwork could lead to even, more powerful and comprehensive insights.
Makes sense.
And ultimately better care for patients.
Absolutely.
Right.
We've talked about discovering new drugs, but what about drug repurposing?
Oh, yeah.
Could KEDRec-LM help us find new uses for drugs that already exist? I mean, that seems like a much faster approach, right?
Absolutely. Drug repurposing is all about finding new ways to use drugs that are already approved for other conditions. And KEDRec-LM could analyze huge amounts of data on how drugs interact, disease pathways, how patients respond to different treatments, and all that to identify those potential new uses.
So it's KEDRec-LM is playing matchmaker.
Yeah.
Connecting drugs and diseases based on actual scientific evidence.
Exactly. And even better.
Okay.
It could even help predict how effective and safe those repurposed drugs would be.
That would be huge.
Right.
I'm also curious about the role of patients in all this.
Yeah.
As AI becomes more common in healthcare, how do we make sure that patients understand what's going on and feel empowered?
That's a really, really good point.
Yeah.
I think transparency is key, right?
Right.
Patients need to know how AI is being used in their care.
Absolutely.
They should be able to ask questions.
Yeah.
And, be a part of the decision-making process.
It's not just about the technology itself. It's about using it in a way that respects patients and, empowers them to be involved in their own health.
Exactly. It's about that partnership, right?
Yeah.
Patients, doctors, and AI all working together for the best possible outcomes.
I like that.
Yeah,
Well, this has been a really fascinating deep dive into KEDRec-LM.
it really has.
We've seen how it has the potential to, completely change drug discovery, personalize medicine, even help us understand, the complexity of human biology on a deeper level.
For sure.
And as we wrap up here, I'm just left feeling, really optimistic about what the future holds.
I agree. It's such an exciting time to be exploring, AI and healthcare and KEDRec-LM. It's definitely a huge step forward.
It is.
And even though there are challenges, the potential benefits are they're immense.
It's amazing to think about a future where AI can help us understand and treat diseases in ways we never even thought possible before.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you all for joining us on this deep dive into KEDRec-LM.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
We hope you found it, insightful and interesting, and we hope you'll continue to, explore this topic on your own.
Yeah, keep asking questions.
Until next time,
Keep diving deep.
keep diving deep.